All right, welcome back to another episode of Another Talented Behind the Scenes. I am Sharna Janice with your very own Jelan Abrams. Jelan, what's poppin'?
I'm good. This is our 6 months in the game, 6 months being married. That's
Mm,
very exciting.
It is, it is.
You sleeping on me? You want to record that or they just?
Yeah, no. So, just for context, for anyone listening, it is a little late, but we were listening to Eric Thomas, and um, gosh, I'm about to mess up the name. That's how tired I am. Secrets to Success podcast.
Yeah.
They were like, do it when you don't feel like it. So it's not even that I don't feel like it. I'm very excited to be here. But if I sound low on energy, it's because I am. But nevertheless, she persisted. So yes, we're here. And tired for good reason. Long weekend, family was here, was hanging out with my family and nephews, and it's so funny watching them. So my grandma, she goes by Mimi. How we got there, I do not
Your
know.
mother.
Um,
You said my grandmother.
I said their grandma.
Oh, I thought you said your grandmother. Okay, good.
No,
Go,
rest in
go.
peace to Rosina.
Yeah.
She's gone. But their grandmother, my mother, she goes by Mimi. And so, throughout the weekend, you just see them each trying to like all crawl on her lap or all be up in her arms. And it's like, it's my Mimi, it's my Mimi. And it's funny because I don't really remember what age that amongst like for me with cousins that we didn't feel like a sense of um sort of like being territorial around like our grandmother or aunties or uncles, or certain things that we have. All of a sudden, you sort of just wake up one day, ideally, and you just understand that these are shared relationships, friendships. But it tickled me because we were having the conversation about generosity and sort of like how that changes, how it matures, how you even get to thinking that it's something that's valuable. And as a kid, naturally, like when you come into this world, your inclination is like mine. No, like you have to be taught to share. You have to be taught to give. So it was an interesting space, but yeah, it was funny watching them. I'm not gonna lie. I'm the cute rich auntie, so I just sit back. I'm not about to discipline. I'm just like, man.
Yeah. I think the reason why that is though is because they're all I was about to say single. What are they? They all
Oh, only
only. Yeah, they're
children.
only. Yeah,
Yeah.
all of them are only children, so they're not used to getting to that point of having to share. Like I remember when my nephew and my niece, like when he was by himself, it was him. The minute his sister got introduced, now he was acting different. He's like, "You only hanging out with her," and it's just like I'm trying to share between y'all, but it's definitely different. I think the more you end up having that sibling, then it's like an easier thing to share what you have because you're kind of more used to it instead of everything always being yours.
I don't know. I feel like you're just sort of forced to. Cause yeah, even thinking about watching my niece and nephew, like also they're getting older, so they're being forced in that space where they have to, and then their minds are also growing and developing where they're understanding that like this is just a part of of being siblings. Like we share things, we
Yeah.
share all these people in our lives that we love, but
Yeah.
it's not a natural
And
thing. You
things as
have
well
to.
though, because I just think about like buying her a gift. I'm thinking like, would he like it or buying him a gift? I'm making sure it's not too like like too small or anything for little kids because I know she gonna play with it too. So it's
Mm-hmm.
always
Mm-hmm.
like you said, it's probably a forced thing, but it's after a while you learn to kind of accept it.
Yeah. Yeah. And I guess thinking about that, like, do you have any childhood memories of being excited to share or like really like resisting having to share? Or even like just young adult memories of like being like, man, I ain't trying to share. I like this is for me.
Yeah. I don't think it was like things per se because I always share with my sisters. I think it was just like my time was more of what I didn't want to share. So we had a basketball goal in front of my house and I always used to play outside with my friends. And my younger sister Kaya, she ended up liking basketball. So every time she's out, I'm out there with my friends. Now here she comes wanting to play too. And I'm just like, this is my time to hang out with them, It's like she was starting basketball, she wants to learn, and she wanted me to help her. And at that time, I'm just like, this is my time. This is not your time. This is my time. So Yeah, I think that was probably the only time that I didn't feel like wanting to give my time or giving something to someone else, but I was kind of forced to because she kept coming outside. So,
Lols,
yeah.
lols. Yeah, I remember I had my childhood best friend, and this new girl came to the school, and for whatever reason she just like really gravitated towards my childhood best friend. And I really wasn't trying to share like my best friend with this girl, but I think for good reason, because that young lady, she was always lying. So I didn't want to share my best friend for that reason. But regardless, even if she wasn't lying, I probably still wouldn't have wanted to share my best friend. Uh, I won't build my case on how she was lying, but just
Yeah, you're
know
going to a lot of people listen to this. So that's what I say. Be careful.
I will I won't get into that. But it was very weird because all of a sudden she just wanted to be all up in the grill, all in the mix. Um, and I was not a fan. I feel like yours, you had a happy ending with your sister, where like you got used to it. I was so
Yeah.
happy when that girl moved. I was so happy.
I don't know. There's actually a lot of people listen to this. So I ain't trying to get too ask too many questions.
I was
Somebody
just
get in
saying, I
trouble.
was happy when she moved because she was lying and she was trying to steal my best friend from me. But it worked out in my favor because she moved, and then me and my best friend still stay best friends. So,
I don't have any. I don't have any follow-up questions.
but yeah, I was trying to give a better story, but I wanted one where it was like a happy ending where like I learned to share. But sorry, y'all, was not the case.
But I think that's a good point though, because so basically, if y'all don't realize it, right now we're talking about generosity. So I think a lot of times people are still have those stingy habits going into adulthood. Because that was something when you were younger, you know. So for
Mm-hmm.
me, I was giving my time, learning how to give my time. You were learning how to, I don't know,
Not to
share
share friends. And
share
honestly,
friends.
I'm still that person. Like I have
Yeah.
very few friends, and I still am very guarded over them. So I'll share a lot of things, but when it comes to like the click, especially if you out here lying in my face, I'm not trying to share my friend with you. That stands to this day, but that's not the point.
All right, so we're gonna be moving into the topic generosity. So what does generosity mean to you?
So generosity is sharing with others. It's not only sharing. I think with generosity, the first thing people think about is giving money. But there are so many things that we can give. We can give our time. We can give our gifts. Um, we can share relationally when it comes to like our family members, our friendship. All of those pieces are important and come into play when it comes to helping and encouraging and loving others well. So that's what I think about when I think about generosity.
Yeah. A follow-up question. Why do you think that's the first thing people think about is money?
Because people don't want to give their money.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I
Yeah.
think that it is something that very much can be an idol, especially in our culture. When you think about having the American dream, people always associate that with a certain amount of wealth that always grows. It no matter how much someone has, they're always still wanting more. Still, I need more. I need to have this. I need a bigger this, more that. So I think it always makes you think like, oh, giving, I got to give money. I'm not trying to give money because I need it. I still need it for this and this and that. So I think that's why I think it's definitely like a heart issue. And our culture makes it easy to feel that way because we're always just hyper spending and having more of stuff that we don't need.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. For me, when I think of generosity, I think of just giving anything. It could be giving money, it could be giving time, giving a hand, even giving when I think of time, like just like an ear as well. You know, somebody's going
Right.
through something, you're listening
What
to.
about the elbow? Gonna have your ear in your hand and your elbow. Gonna get your kneecap. How about a kneecap? I'm sorry.
Oh boy. I don't even know where you were going.
Sorry. So happens when I'm sleepy. I'm silly. Okay, go ahead.
Uh, let me say it again. Y'all might have missed it. So generosity to me is just giving to someone else in need. So it could be money, it could be time, it could be just listening to somebody vent, but it's just doing something out of, the kindness of your heart for someone else. Basically helping out. Like I'm gonna have to do the whole podcast because she out here on silly mode.
Okay. I was laughing because you think about that. Why are so many things with I can't even think of the like colorful language. It'll come to me later. It has to do with body parts. Like you said, like lend a hand, lend a ear. I was just thinking about that. That's what I was laughing at because I'm like, why do all these things have to do with body parts? But those things, right? I don't know. That's what I was thinking about, but
Yeah. Mm.
I digress.
But to get off topic, because you like get off topic,
Yes.
I did hear, like when you get your license and they say, "Hey, do you want to be a donor, organ donor or whatever like that?" They
Yeah.
say you're actually not supposed to say yes to those because people be trying to kill you for your organs.
Oh my.
That's what I heard. That's what I heard. You want to be off topic, so I'm getting off topic. I'm just saying. Because I ain't even gonna say if I'm an organ donor or not, because I don't need nobody
I'm
coming
about
after
to
me.
say, I'm
But
not
that's
gonna
what I that's
say,
what I that's
but
what I heard.
that's wild.
You never heard that?
No, not. I don't know. Maybe I have. It's like,
All right, get back on topic, boy.
all
So yeah, you want to go?
right. So we talked a little bit about like childhood space of generosity. So yeah, breaking that down, I think for us, goal is to sort of expand people's thoughts around being generous. Also, we're in Q4. We're coming into a time of the year. Well, multiple things. We're coming into a time of the year where it's holidays, so a lot of people are going to be in need, and so we wanted to encourage thoughts and ways for people to give of themselves during that season when so many people are in need. We're also in North Carolina, and so we have been. Seeing and hearing a lot of the impact from the hurricane and how it impacted places in our state. And so, luckily, we're a part of a church that is really generous. And so, they have had outreach events like where you come to church and can give. A portion of our tithe goes towards outreach and giving. And so, it's been just sort of top of mind, I think, thinking about. Um, just prioritizing what it looks like to be generous and to serve others in this season when so many people are without. Sometimes we forget how much we have when we're again in that hyper, wanting more society where it's like I need more of this, gotta have more of that. Like not taking time to realize how blessed you are and just to give and be generous with others.
Mhm. Yeah, I think a portion of my life when I realized how much I had and how much people didn't is one time I was going at one part of my life I was selling books. I was going to the thrift store and selling books and I like to talk. So I'm talking to everybody. People ask me what I'm doing. So this one lady that said she did like mission trips. You always hear somebody does mission trips and does things, overseas, but I didn't really know. I thought they like build up stuff. You never really like look into it, but she actually broke it down, showed me pictures of like they have like schools over there where they have no books, like they have no chairs, like they're legit sitting on the floor for school. And then she's like, gets books from here and donates them there and helps out like donating computers and stuff like that. And then when they do have computers, there's one computer for the whole class. So seeing that was just like, wow, like people out here really don't have stuff, and it's like for them to even sit on the floor. You think about a school over there, every time you see the pictures, you see, them sitting down, but she was showing me like how like it's cement, they're legit sitting on cement for class. And it just really made me want to say, man, that's something that I wanted to, strive to at one point in my life. And then I think I posted on my Facebook where people was like, yeah, well, they got people here that need help as well. It might not be that extreme, but it's so many people like in your backyard, like you were saying in, is it Asheville,
Mhm.
people like that need help as well.
Yeah.
But I think the hard part about wanting to give or thinking about giving is that you think you don't have anything to give. I think that's the hard part.
Yeah, yeah. And I think that's why one of the first places we wanted to start thinking about this conversation is giving of your time. One really cool piece within our church is that they will show videos around outreach. And so, connected to that thought you were saying, they show not only local things, they show outreach across outside of our state, outside of the US. And so, it's very cool because there are so many places that have different needs. And so, one of the first places we wanted to hop into within that, along with that monetary giving, is the fact that hands and feet are needed um, sorry, I say hands and feet. If you think about the body
You
parts
giving
again,
away body parts, boy.
they're needed for creating, like when we have packages for hygiene kits, when people need food packages, when they're shipping out the supplies that they gather to send to places of coats and jackets and all these things. These are events that they have where you can come. And so, even if you don't have a monetary gift that you can sow a seed in that way, you can still come. And if you have an hour, I think the beautiful thing is one event I went to, it was maybe 20 or 30 of us, and we packed maybe 300 hygiene kits. It took us like 40 minutes with that many people. I mean, we were in an assembly line and we're chatting and laughing, and, we had the worship music playing, and it took us no time.
Yeah, so I just want you to break it down a little more for the people because when you say here hygiene kits, it's like, what does that mean? So to just kind of like, oh, I could break it down as well because I was there. Or you want to? Yeah, okay, yeah. So basically, when she talks about like hygiene kits, she's talking about making things for people that's similar, like in your own backyard. So this is not people that's like you wouldn't even know they need all this stuff. But let's just say there were, people probably in your neighborhood or two neighborhoods down needing like toothbrush, toothpaste, deodorant, body wash, little things that you think are like we can get these every single day, we're good on it, but these people actually need it. So speaking about our church, I did some volunteering myself, and I was packing up stuff similar like that. It's basically they have like a place where they actually sell what is it, like vegetables, canned vegetables, meat, cereals, and hygiene stuff as well. And it was for students that don't have that much. So the reason why it stuck out to me and I felt a way about doing it is because once I was packing all this stuff, I actually saw some of the students come in and actually, ask for it because they're basically getting, a certain amount of items for free. And I actually saw them getting it. So at one point, I opened up a box and that had toothpaste and toothbrushes. I put them on the shelf and I turned around and they were gone. And I'm just like, wow, they really need this stuff. It's like without us helping pack this stuff, they wouldn't even be able to use these things, which was like, wow, it was definitely amazing to me. Definitely an eye opener just to realize how much they needed. Because I just put the toothpaste down. Like I legit turned around, they told me to move it somewhere else, and it was gone. And I'm like, yo, like this is serious.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. And to your like point thinking about hygiene kits, it's stuff again that for you is so simple. To go and pack a kit, build we did volunteering with Nourish Up, so packing people's groceries or food so that they could deliver items to people who are in need. Like we don't understand how much of a blessing it is for you to be able to go into a grocery store and choose whatever you want and say, actually, I don't want this flavor or that flavor or these things. Like they're things that we take so for granted in our day to day. And so even if you're not at a space where you're like, I don't have really extra money to give, or you don't feel like you do, to spend an hour during your week, an hour on the weekend to go and support your community, support someone else's needs in that way. It's just such a
yeah.
valuable way to give your time.
Yeah, because you got time to watch Netflix. You got time to watch. I was about to go in.
Look,
But
look.
for real, you got time to watch Netflix, watch the football game, go out with your friends. You got time to help. You got time. That's one thing you have. We're not telling you to donate $1,000, $100. We're not telling you to do that. We're just telling you to donate your time because they have the packs and packs of stuff. They need it to be open, organized, so these people can come out and get the stuff. If they don't have people to do that, it's going to take them a longer time to get what they need. Like if I
Yeah.
wasn't there, who knows if somebody would have opened up that toothpaste that day and those kids wouldn't even have toothpaste.
Yeah. Yeah. Sorry,
So,
I forgot my next point.
are you catching that points? All right, well, I'm gonna keep talking. Yeah, so it's very important to, like we said, basically give your time. So I think a lot of times people think of generosity, they think of it's always money. 'Cause I think that's the easiest thing to do. Oh, here's $1. It's, especially like, let's say you're driving, you see somebody on the side of the road, they're always gonna be asking for $1 or some change or something like that. Nobody's gonna say, hey, I need a hand or something. I need you to help me do it. It's always gonna be, kind of money.
Another way I think we overlook is just simple ways that we can show kindness to others others through, I don't know if you've ever been in line and you got up to the window and they're like, oh, the person that had like paid for you, like those simple things of like paying it back, like what's the order behind me. We were in line at the ice cream shop and there was a young lady, we went to
A young
seemingly
lady,
overzealous.
over older lady.
That's unnecessary. We went to seemingly overzealous. It's very good. And there was a young lady who was chatting with this couple, and we thought they all knew each other just because how much they were chatting in line. And so they got up, and the person that was giving the ice cream asked, like, "Oh, are y'all's orders together?" And she was like, "Well, sure, why not?" She was like, "I could do that. Sure, I could." And it was so funny because it was like you could see her like it was a quick but simple decision to be like, why not? Like, why not just be a simple blessing to this person? And the lady was like, oh, wow. Like, thank you so much. Like, you didn't even have to do that. I really appreciate it. So there's just little things you can do to make somebody's day. If there's someone you know that you're like, oh, hey, I could, take them out to dinner. I could take them to the movies if it's, back to school. And it's like, oh, this person may need some help with school supplies. Let me see if there's a couple things off that list I could buy for their child. Like there's small things. It doesn't have to be, like you said, thousands of dollars for it to really impact somebody's life and for it to help them to be just a little bit more generous and thinking of someone else.
Yeah, I think that's all like situational. I think if you like are building that bond with somebody for a brief period of time is easier. I think it's definitely harder to say, "Hey, what's the order behind me?" and driving the drive through. I'm not doing that. That's kind of tough.
You think so?
Yeah, I'm just and plus one thing got a full family back there. Hey, what's the order back there? $53. And I'm
Mm.
like, nah, I'm good.
I mean, I don't know. It's a one-time thing. You do it and then you go about your day, you know?
I don't know.
I don't know. But like I said, these are again, every space of things that we're offering up of ways to
Yeah.
be generous, there may be one that lands and resonates with you more. That won't be one Jelan does, but maybe somebody else is like, that's so simple. I go and get Starbucks every morning. How easy would it be for me to just pay for somebody else in line, right? Just a simple way to show kindness to another human being.
I ain't gonna lie, I did think about it one time. I saw like a young boy in front of me. He was buying I think Takis, Takis chips and buying a honey bun and then like the one he had to order like the total, he said, "Oh, just put something back." I thought about, just help him out with it, but then I was like, he's buying Takis and honey buns. I'm just saying, both of those are not good. Like, if he was buying something like a TV bill or something like that, I would have gave it to him. But it's like, come on now. And I was kind of hoping he put the Takis back, but he had to put the honey bun back. I'm like, them Takis is dangerous. They said those are really dangerous to be eaten. So I said I didn't want to help with his healthiness. So I said, nah, yeah, all right.
I'm too tired to respond to that right now.
I'm just saying, it's just like when you are helping someone, just make sure that they doing something good for themselves. I just always think about somebody on the side of the road, right? You don't know what they're gonna do with that money. You don't want to if you know the person's buying beer, are you gonna give them the money? Probably not, right?
I don't think, at least for me, generosity is not necessarily what somebody would do with it. Because you can give somebody pencils. You don't know if that little kid is going to be a terror at school and jab somebody in the head with a
Okay,
pencil.
that's too
But
far.
that's not, I'm just saying, you do not know what somebody's going to do with your giving. It's not your place to know what they're going to do. Your place
But I
is to
think that's the point.
give
Well, I think that's what we don't
and then
agree
release
because
it.
because pretty much what I think is like generosity is like you're doing something for a good cause. So kind of like how I was saying, the lady was helping the kids in Africa with schooling and stuff like that. You're not just giving money just to give money.
I'm just saying, when you bless somebody, you don't know what they're going to do with it.
Well, you hope it's good though.
Yeah, hope, but you don't know. Your job is just to be a blessing.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Okay. I do remember one time you did give money to somebody outside, and I was just like, "You said, well, let's be a blessing today," and gave it to him, and I was like, "I don't know, their shoes is too white to be given."
Yeah, once I give, and it's funny because I guess sort of pausing in the middle of our conversation about
Yeah.
generosity. So for me, I think the biggest thing is when I was a child, sort of like just switching gears of you have that like immature space of just like, oh man, like, what's mine is mine, and like your territorial. Like when
Yeah.
I started looking at giving in the scripture, that's I think why I have that like release mentality. Y'all know the vibes. I got scriptures. So Proverbs 19:17 says, "Whoever is generous to the poor lends to the Lord, and he will repay him for his deed." To me, that verse don't say nothing about the intention of who you lend into, of who you, it just says whoever is generous to the poor lends to the Lord. What someone does with it, what they do, that's not my piece. If the Lord says be generous and give to them, then I'm lending to the Lord and he's gonna repay me for that deed. So I don't think too much about like what they gonna do with it or what's their intention or do they really need it or I'm like, nope, like
Yeah.
let me my job is to keep my hands open and give. And then God's job is to filter through the rest. But for me, I'm like, no, I'm gonna
Yeah.
just give.
Well, have you ever seen those videos where the people's job is to be on the side of the road and begging? Have you
No,
ever
I
seen
don't
that?
watch that because again, that's not my business. What
I'm just
Tabitha say, that's not my business.
I don't
Cause
watch
that's
Tabitha.
you don't watch Tabitha?
No.
She said, cause that's my no, she said, cause that's my business. So I'm gonna say the opposite. That's not my business. So she's so funny. She's making
Yeah.
me want to be vegan, but we're not doing that. So but
That's a whole
yeah,
another
that's
episode.
that's a whole nother episode. But yeah, so I'll be
I
like,
guess I
no.
know I kind of have that mindset just to give, but I think it's still always in that back of my mind, like seeing that video, like somebody legit that was a hustle, like just to be on the in the middle of the street begging for money, and that was what they made how they made their living, which is kind of crazy to me, but
Mm,
yeah.
nah.
I'm thinking about this video, right? I don't think I'm gonna find it to put in the clip, but the guy asked for some money and the guy gave him change. He said, "Man, I don't want no change," and threw it in the. It was okay. You got to see the video.
You
You got to
gotta
see the
watch
video.
different stuff. Like everything you be talking about, you see on social media, I've never seen. My social media is scriptures, teaching, preaching,
That's an
home
old
decor.
video though.
I
But the
don't
funny
know
thing
none of
about it
the
is he
stuff you
gave
be
him
referencing.
change
I
and
don't know
threw it
what you
back
be
into the
watching
car.
online.
He said, "Man, I don't
You
want
need a
no
different
change."
algorithm. Or just
What's the
a
next
whole
topic?
new algorithm.
What's the next topic?
Oh my gosh. So funny.
Oh, okay, well, one thing I want to talk about is like if you do want to give your money, like how would they find places to actually give money? Because I think that's a topic as well. Is like, let's say they have my mindset, I don't want to give money to somebody on the side of the road because I don't know what they're gonna do with it. They're not gonna have the same mind. Everybody's not gonna be like you,
Yeah, yeah.
because like I know a lot of people's like me. It's like I'm not giving my money to this person where I'm thinking, who knows what they're gonna do with it. So where would you find places to actually give your money?
Google. Um, I'm just saying, like, if you're thinking of, you want to
Hold
look
on, let me
up a
see
local,
here.
like, homeless shelter, soup kitchen, um, food shelters, any of those things you can Google. Yeah, I mean, it really is like I'm just saying, like, not in a funny way. I think sometimes we put barriers in between being generous, like, oh, like I don't know who to give to. Oh man, I don't really got the time. Child, shoot, I need that money for myself. Like, there's so many little things that we can make it hard. It's not
Yeah.
hard to give. You know what I'm saying? Your homegirls and you want to go out, y'all brunch every weekend. Y'all don't need endless mimosas every weekend. Look up a food shelter, go serve together, chat and chit while you pack meals for somebody, and then there you go. Instead of continuing to have,
You said chat what?
chat and chit, instead
What is
chit and chat,
that?
and chit chat. Yeah, that's I said backwards 'cause I'm tired. I'm tired.
Chat and shit is
Chat and chit.
crazy.
I'm gonna start saying it
Oh
now. Now
boy.
that's my thing. Chat and chit.
Oh boy.
But yeah, it's not hard. It's not hard. If you do a Google, we used to at my old employer, they would have Give Back Day, and they would put all these resources because there was stuff virtual. You could write letters to like your local officers or firefighters, paramedics. You could like it was just you could go to a senior citizen home and sit with them and play bingo, or just there's so many little things. There's something for everybody. If you like, oh, I don't really
Hold
know.
on. See, play bingo with senior citizens.
Yeah, I was looking at stuff like our church has an outreach page. You can go. Sometimes they'll have events with older people because sometimes they don't have children or family members that come and
Mm.
visit them. Like there's so many people who they just need somebody's kindness. So it's like don't make it hard. Just find something you care about and go help somebody.
I don't know if I could do that though. I'm too competitive. I'm trying to win this bingo. I'm not. I ain't come here to play. I'm sorry.
You aggravated. You was mad
You're like,
aggravated.
no, don't bring it back. Don't bring it back.
Yo.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. What's? But nah, I never really knew that was a thing. I did not know that was a thing.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
crazy.
So it's cool. There's stuff. There's one event I didn't end up going because I had schedule conflict, but it was cool because you could set up. They were doing like a homecoming dance, so they were like
Hmm.
having people
For
help
senior
set up.
citizens?
No, for like teenagers. I was just sort of getting into different categories.
Okay,
If you're
okay.
passionate about like working with this group of people or
Mm,
this, like, there's so many different things that you can do to serve somebody. So again, if you don't have the finances to give, if you are weary about what some people may do with your giving, there's just different ways that you can partner with something that you feel comfortable with, to make sure that somebody in need is served and that you think about something other than yourself, especially coming into the holiday season, especially when the world is in the state that it's in, where like everybody needs to feel the connection and kindness of somebody else. So
So what do you say to that person that says, I need that help
to give.
to give?
Yeah, like I'm gonna read them the scripture,
All right.
and I would tell them about the fact that when I was laid off, um before I found my next employer, I was like, man, what should I do with this time? And I would tell them that the Lord put it on my heart to serve others. And I would remind them that, yeah, the scripture, where is it? Matthew chapter 25, verses 35 through 37 says, for I was hungry and you gave me something to eat. I was thirsty and you gave me something to drink. I was a stranger and you invited me in. I needed clothes and you clothed me. I was sick and you looked after me. I was in prison and you came to visit me. That is Jesus speaking. When you do these things, then you are giving to him. And there's no greater giving than giving to God, because you can't beat God giving. Um, so yeah, I would tell them, if anything, if you're in a space where you're like, man, I need to be blessed. Again, Proverbs 19:17, whoever is generous to the poor lends to the Lord, and he will repay him for his deed.
Hmm. Hmm.
So if anything, if you really need something, yeah, I served during that season. And the next position I went into, mm, the kindness of God was all over that space.
Yeah.
So yeah, you can't be God given.
I
If
like how I like how you said that. It's crazy. They had this it's kind of, I guess, semi-viral in what I was seeing, a post where the pastor was saying, y'all need to start giving to the poor and start giving to the church. It was like, that was so crazy because we've definitely did read Proverbs, reading multiple times where they were saying, give to the poor many times
Mhm.
throughout Proverbs. And his thing was like, giving to the poor ain't gonna help you none. And I'm just like, that's kind of crazy,
Yeah,
especially like I said, we just read Proverbs and it's in the Bible to give to the poor.
yeah,
So yeah.
it's weird energy. Some people are weird. That's why it's important. Side note, but important to read your Bible yourself. That
Hmm.
way, when people say stuff that's weird, don't assume because somebody got the platform that they are really right. So,
Yeah,
but that's a whole nother
that's
thing.
a whole nother topic.
But yeah, so yeah, I would, yeah, encourage you, even if you feel like you don't have much, there's something you can give. There's time you can give. There's a word of encouragement you can give. Like, there's something you have to share with others. There's a gift. One thing our church also has is like volunteer teams where they're like, hey, like, you come here on Sunday anyway, right? You're coming for church, come to an additional service, and for that service, work with the kids, be a greeter. Like, there's still get it don't cost you nothing but your time. So come for an hour extra and wave at people and tell them good morning, and it makes a difference. Like, even I love coming to our church and everybody's like, hey, good morning, you look so blessed today. Like, that's such a simple thing,
Yeah.
but like, that was them giving. They woke up and chose to give their time and to give encouragement and to give love to start our weeks off. Like, those things matter. They're invaluable. So yeah, there's always something you can give.
Yeah. I think I want to hit the next point is just listening, being that air. I think a lot of times when people are going through something, they want somebody to talk to. And it's not even just someone to get advice from, it's just somebody to vent to. It's definitely most important to talk to God whenever you have these things, but sometimes you just need that support. So if somebody is going through something, no, actually just make sure you just check on your family, check on your friends. it's something that I make sure I do all the time. Just call them randomly and just kind of just be there, just see how they doing. They could be doing great, they could not be doing great, but just having that air, always let them know that you're there. So
Mhm.
I think that's a very important thing as well.
Yeah,
Hello, is this on? Is this on?
I think that was all the points,
That's all the
honestly.
points you had, boy.
Yeah,
Short episodes, probably like 25 minutes.
yeah,
So now, after we basically just explained everything we did, for generosity, I want y'all to think about stuff that you can do and actually take action on that. So think about, if you can give time, if at your local church, like we said, local soups kitchen, senior citizen place, anything. Try to give some time. If you just want to give money, go on Google, look at these different places, give your money, or even give an ear. Check on a family member you haven't talked to in a while. Give them a call, just to see how they're doing, just to show them that you love them. You want to make sure everything is good. So definitely, that's something I want y'all to try this week. Is actually give in some kind of way, because you can change someone's life that by just doing that little thing.
yeah. Yeah, I think it's cool. Um, One thing I'm excited about that we've been doing, you mentioned earlier 6 months, but like we made like different goals we wanted to do for this year. And one of them was having an event that we did, at least one, if not more, each quarter. So yeah, we'll be wrapping up the year, probably doing a couple events just because, again, just holiday times, there's so many people that are in need when it comes to food, doing like I don't know if you remember the angel trees in the mall, like where you could buy a gift for a child, but again, just keep your eyes open. Stay looking for opportunities to serve and to love other people, because so many people need it. So yeah, short but sweet episode. We got right
Yeah,
to the
no.
point.
And don't let the bad apples make you not want to do it. So, like I was speaking about, thinking about giving to someone, not giving to someone because you're like, oh, I'm not really sure what they're going to do with it. Just always have that positive mindset. Is like, hopefully they're doing something good, because you don't want to have that feeling of, man, I got $5 here to give to this person, but I think they might not be doing good with it. That could be someone that actually needs it. So always have that positive mindset, and just like, I'm giving out the goodness of my heart. Whatever they do with it is up to them, but I know I had the best intentions on giving.
Absolutely.
Yep. So wrap it up. I know it was a short episode, but we both tired. Like, we had a long week, so y'all can get this little short but goodie. And actually, the reason why it's short, because we giving y'all time to help somebody else. That's why this episode is so short.
Yeah, there we go. All right. Well, until next time. Um, Hold on. I'm sorry.
Oh boy, I ended then since you're tired.
Okay.
All right, well, thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. My name is Jelan Abrams. I'm here with Sharnay Abrams and Unknown and Talented. We peach you out. Did I say thank you? See, that's why you need to end it. Thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, share. Actually, no, do none of that. We want y'all to be generous to someone else. Don't worry about none of other stuff. Y'all gotta subscribe. Y'all gotta like it. Be generous. Give to someone else. That's what we really want this episode for.
Yeah.
All right, well, that's it. Be easy.
Be easy.